Hello and welcome to the inaugural edition of Jake's Takes, a minute or two that I'll take on a regular basis to sit down with you and talk about which issues are under consideration in Olympia and DC, what they are, and more importantly, why they affect you here in Spokane and what you can do about them. Today, we'll be talking about the delay of the North Spokane corridor. Every 2 years, Washington State produces 3 different budgets. These are on a biennial term, so they run for the full 2 years, but they're in 3 separate buckets: operating, capital, and transportation. Most importantly right now is the transportation budget, which is under heavy consideration in Olympia. Every 2 years, the governor is required to put out his take on what the budgets might look like. Those 3 budgets are then forwarded on to the legislature for consideration. Importantly, just like with Congress, the legislature is what holds the power of the purse in Washington State, and they're the ones who have the ultimate decision on these budgets. While the transportation budget is technically only written for the next 2 years, that package includes an outlay of what major transportation projects and revenue packages look like for the future of Washington State. Within the governor's proposed budget this year was a massive delay to a huge priority for the Spokane region, the North Spokane corridor. Also known as the North-South Freeway, this gigantic project will be connecting I-90 in the south, right west of the Thor-Freya exit, to Wandermere up north, and US 2, US 395. This project was originally conceived in the 1940s and has been under construction for 2 decades already. This proposed delay would not only cost our community millions of dollars in the 6 years just through economic activity, but it's also going to impact how we live our lives and the overall cost of this project. There will be more engineering to be done, permits will lapse, and the current structures that are in place will need refurbishing in order to connect to the larger project. Additionally, other projects planned here in Spokane, as well as state-funded projects, will all be impacted by the delay. The North Spokane corridor was not the only project affected by these delays. Across the state, highway projects have been delayed in favor of the governor's other priorities, such as fish passage, maintenance and preservation, and the Columbia River crossing. Now, with all this in mind, what can you do to affect change in Olympia to make sure that the North Spokane corridor does not get delayed? Well, you can take action through the GSI Action Center and the Action Alert. If you want to get involved, simply click below. The message is already prepared for you. You can tell lawmakers in Olympia that this delay is just not going to work for Spokane. Thank you for joining me for Jake's Takes. If this is something that interests you and you want to get more involved with GSI, simply reach out to me. My contact information here is below. Of course, you can visit greaterspokane.org to find out more about what we're doing every day. There'll be regular blog posts about the legislature, as well as update calls every Friday.